Here it is at last, the Helios Tarot forecast for the month, or Tarot Horoscope drawn specifically for your astrological zodiac sign. I'm B.R. Newman, in case you didn't know that already. Check out my website, iamhelios.com, through the link below, and consider everything that I have to offer there. Consider signing up to receive any number of the personal readings that I offer, or consider signing up to take a course. The choice is yours. There's a lot to explore there. Also consider checking out Annie Botticelli's Storyteller forecasts to see the astrological side of everything you're going to see here. It's fascinating, I promise. So, okay, I guess we'll just jump right into it.
So here it is, Aquarius, your 5-card tarot spread for the month of October. This is what I call a HELIOS spread. It's a condensed Golden Dawn spread, which uses 15 cards. In this case, we have 5, to the same effect. You have a central theme, 2-dimensional timeline options you can choose from, a past section, and a fate section. In your central theme, or that which most adequately sums up the whole story arc of this tarot spread, is the Ace of Swords. So all of the aces in the numerical minor arcana are associated with Keter on the Tree of Life, the first Sphirith, and this is the primordial essence of each element. So in the case of swords, this is air. This is thought and belief, everything from philosophy to bias, and all of the conflict and productivity that can potentially come from that. In the ace, you have very likely made a decision. You've made a choice. You've determined that something is meant to happen. Something is being plucked from the realm of potentiality and is being prepared to enter the realm of actuality. And this central theme is not intended to represent a general read of the nature of your life at this time. This is merely a means of allowing you to extract some specificity from this general read that is applying to everyone who shares your sun sign. So, okay, look to the areas of your life that you feel that you are making a decision, you're deciding you're going to change something, you're setting something into motion now, or at least you're preparing to. And those are the areas that this spread is speaking to. So regarding these choices that you are going to make, you have 2 different approaches, 2 different vantage points, or 2 different paths, 2 different doors you could walk through. On the one hand, you have the Sun, a major arcana card, high gravity, heavy-hitting card, representing a huge milestone in your life, huge energy, massive transformation. And then on the other hand, you have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is actually, like all of the other court cards, it corresponds with one of the Myers-Briggs personality profiles, of which there are 16, and there are 16, court cards, so that lines up perfectly. Not everyone is aware of this connection, but I found this extremely useful and quite obvious, frankly. So the Knight of Wands actually is directly correspondent to the ENTJ, so that's the extroverted, intuitive thinking judger. So this is a natural leader, a very commanding force, a visionary, somebody who's, argumentative, but only because they are quite persistent, they're quite certain that they are correct and that their cause is just, they have absolute faith in it. So they have a low tolerance for incompetency and they simply don't deal with it, right? Not at all. Okay, so this is actually the direct continuation of the Ace of Swords. This is the path upon which you have that decision, you're making, you're formulating your plan, your game plan now, and you just go through with it and nobody's going to get in your way. You're just going to make it happen. You're going to force it into being. And, who's to say whether or not that's forcing against the current or with the current? You may be meant to make that path. It's really up to you to determine whether or not that's true based on your own circumstances. On the other hand, you have a drastically different energetic signature here. The Sun is about play and fun and liberation and joy and energy and vibration and experimentation and seeing things completely differently. And it also sort of, it represents some amazing opportunity coming over the horizon and changing everything, right? So it's the rising sun that casts light over the world that was once dark. And so now you see, now you finally understand, and now you know where to go. So there's no need to force anything at that point. No need to, cut through the weeds, cut a path through the jungle to get to your destination, to that buried treasure, or whatever it might be. You simply allow the sun to fully rise, to the highest point in the sky so you can have the best light, the best conditions for your journey. So this has to do with patience, of course. So you can choose one or the other. And whether or not one is the high road and the other is not, is determined by the fate section. And the fate section is the 7 of Swords. So we have a continuation of the Swords suit here, so it's speaking directly to the central theme. It's also speaking directly to the Knight of Wands, so this is the direct result of taking that Knight of Wands path. So this is the card of futility. This is the card of working really hard towards something and it just not working out. So this is quite clearly illustrating the dynamic through which you engage the world and engage conditions and engage the opportunities with a forceful approach where you're determined to make something happen and you cut straight through the obstacles. You leap right over the blockades, and you through sheer determination and will and force and strength, you just make things happen according to that originating vision. So then obviously the context of this shifts quite dramatically in the hypothetical scenario in which you take the sun path. So with patience, if you step back and allow the opportunities to reveal themselves fully, or allow the source of light to reach the highest point in the sky so the full form of the opportunities can be revealed, then this the Seven of Swords emphasis shifts from the sense of hopelessness to the action taken in response to that, because the action that you are inevitably going to take as the result of the Ace of Swords through the Sun is delayed. The action then takes place in the Fate section through the Seven of Swords rather than through the Knight of Wands. So with patience, that action transfers over from the Nine of Wands through the Sun onto the Seven of Swords, and the action taken from futility is actually a leap of faith. So that then promises that the response, or the manifestation, the mirroring result, will reflect that faith. So action taken from a sense of futility, that leap of faith and that surrender will be rewarded, and always is. So you can assume that according to those conditions, the Sun is the far wiser route. So this is not a time to force things to happen. Though you may have an excellent idea and you know it, you've got to step back and let it ferment a bit, let it refine, and then allow the light to shine upon it, or allow a new light to shine upon it so you can see it for what it truly is, see it in a new way, perhaps with a little less attachment and without all of that rigidity and all of that forcefulness that the Knight of Wands is famous for. So we have to consider what this was all inspired by. The Ten of Cups in your past section. This is the final culmination of the water suit. This is Malkuth, Sphirith 10 as manifest through water, through cups. And so this is the experience of complete satisfaction, fullness, satiety, everything being fulfilled. However, you can go about experiencing this in two very different ways. So the sense of fulfillment, if taken for granted, can be something that you regret right now. And that may actually be the incentivizing force behind the decision to activate the Ace of Swords in your central theme. If this was an experience that you cherished and that you thoroughly let play out and you allowed yourself to soak in it, then this is actually the experience that will allow you to trust and to be patient and to step back because you've experienced that. So very clearly, if you do regret not having taken the time to fully appreciate the Ten of Cups, then use that as the motivation to take your time now, be patient now, allow the opportunities to fully present themselves, and cherish what you have now. Be grateful for what you currently have rather than dead set on creating precisely that vision that you have in your mind of a better future, in whatever way that manifests on the personal scale. This being a tarot reading applying to hundreds of people, it's going to take a little work on your part to figure out the areas of your life that this is relevant to. This is not speaking to general themes. This is not by any stretch summing up or defining the nature of your life right now. To achieve that kind of detail and insight, you would kind of have to get a personal reading with me. So I hope you might consider that.
And that about wraps this up for the month. So thank you for listening to this and for watching. Please do consider contacting me for a personal reading. We can take this so far and go so much deeper than we have here. It's pretty remarkable, really. You can gain so much, as many people have already. I am HELIOS.com is the website. I'm B.R. Newman. Thanks again.